Today we will be crocheting our very own rainbow hexi-cardigans, but with a twist. Hi, welcome to DBHandmades. My name is Danielle, and I want to share with you that about a month ago I was in a Hobby Lobby and I saw this yarn, the sugar wheel cotton yarn in the colorway Sprinkles on Top. I am a sucker for color, and so even though I didn't know what I was going to make at the time, I was just like, okay, I have to have this yarn. They were having their 30% off sale, so of course I got 3 cakes of this. I had seen on all the socials that people were making hexi-cardigans with rainbow yarn and black yarn, either alternating or half and half. And I didn't know if I was going to do the same thing or do something a little bit different. And so I also got 3 or 4 skeins of I Love This Cotton in black. Now that inspiration has struck, we're actually going to be crocheting a rainbow and black hexi-cardigan with a little twist, and it's going to be short sleeve. So join me today as we are going to make our very own short sleeve hexi-cardigans. Full disclosure, I have not ever written a pattern for clothes before. I am just sharing with you my own personal experience in creating a crochet top for my body. In order to make it for your body, try it on throughout the process, because your body is going to be different than what fits my body. So I would say just treat this as a guide to how to make a short sleeve hexi-cardigan. I hope you enjoyed this video and find it helpful and still have fun while we crochet together. I am going to use the following materials: sugar wheel cotton in the color Sprinkles on Top, 3 or 4 skeins of I Love This Cotton in the color black, a 5.5 millimeter or I crochet hook, an embroidery or tapestry needle, some handy dandy scissors. Now let's go ahead and get started. So grab your rainbow yarn and your 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, put your slip knot on your hook, and we're going to make a magic ring or chain 2, and then we're going to put 4 single crochets in the second chain from the hook. And then we're going to chain 3, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets into the center of the magic ring. Chain 2, 3 more double crochets, chain 2. You're going to repeat this 4 more times. When you get to your last chain 2, you're going to slip stitch into the first double crochet. Keep in mind the chain 3 does not count as your first stitch. Instead of yarning over with the rainbow yarn and pulling through, we're going to grab your black yarn and we're going to complete our slip stitch with the black yarn, and then chain 1 and turn your work. Now I'm sure you're wondering, oh my gosh, now this yellow yarn is going to be so loose. Well, here's kind of a trick that I like to do when I'm changing colors every other row. Notice I am holding my yellow yarn in my right hand. We're going to do a single crochet, and we're going to do it over our previous yarn. Make sure to pull that. You do 2 more single crochets, 3 chains. So in each corner we're going to do 3 single crochets, followed by chain 3. And then 3 single crochets. So keep doing that all the way around. All right, now I've done my final chain 3. I'm gonna look for my first single crochet because the first chain 1 does not count as your first stitch. We're gonna put our hook in the first single crochet. Instead of yarning over and pulling through to do a slip stitch, put our black yarn on this side of our work because this is going to be considered the back side of our work. Take the yellow yarn, pull it to the front of our work, yarn over, and pull through. Chain 3 and turn. I'm going to hold my black yarn. In each corner, we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, and do 3 more double crochets. And then we're going to repeat that all the way around in each of these spaces. Here's our last stitch of the round, and I'm actually gonna undo it because now we're gonna change back to black. So here I'm gonna act like I'm doing my last double crochet, but before I yarn over and pull through, reach for my black yarn, yarn over, pull through, and then I'm going to find my first double crochet of this round and do a slip stitch. And then I'm going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to do a single crochet. And because this is not a corner, we're going to just do our single crochet followed by chain 3. And now this is a corner, so we're going to do 3 single crochets followed by chain 3, single crochet, chain 3, and then in this corner here we're going to do 3 single crochets. Make sure to repeat that all the way around, and then I will meet you up here in our last chain 3. For our final slip stitch, I'm going to put our black yarn in this is the back part of our work. I'm going to take the rainbow yarn, and not only am I going to put it in front, I'm going to make sure to go to the right side of our stitch. I'm going to put my hook in the single crochet, I yarn over, and then I pull through the black stitch. Make sure to pull my black yarn a little bit, and then I chain 3, and then I turn. 3 double crochets, and make sure that your tension is nice and loose because you don't want your yarn to bunch up. You want everything to be able to lay nice and flat. And then in this corner, we're going to do the 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. All right, and then so just repeat in spaces here, do a 3 double crochets, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Repeat that all the way around until you get to your last stitch where you're going to change from the rainbow to the black in your last stitch, and then do a slip stitch into the first double crochet right here. I have a second confession to make. I already went ahead and made the first half of our hexi-cardigan. Isn't it just so pretty? I love the effect that it has with the alternating rainbow and black yarn. It's so pretty. Woo! It's like really trippy. I already had this kind of halfway ripped through because I did what's called color control. And some of you might be asking, what on earth is color control? Well, that is where if you have two different skeins and they start off with different colors, but they're of the same colorway, you can strip it down. What I did was I caked up the first half of one of the skeins, and I did it until I had mostly yellow on the outside and until I got to mostly orange with just a tiny bit of yellow in the middle, because I wanted it to start fairly similar to the other half, just that you could have that symmetry, because I really love how I was able to have symmetry in this top, and I didn't realize how satisfying that was until I was making this. At first, when Bag a Day was mentioning color control a few years ago, I was like, that sounds like a little cuckoo, having to literally pull apart an entire cake, or at least half of a cake, just to get to the specific color that you want. But now I understand, especially with a yarn winder, it's so much easier to be able to wind it, so to speak, instead of having to, you know, make a ball yourself. It's just a lot easier. So that's why I have just half of a cake here and half of it over here. This whole thing is actually, and I still have a little bit of this left over too, but not enough for an entire round. I made this with one whole cake and then one whole skein, and then I actually had to break into a second skein to make half of the last round. So almost 2 skeins of yarn, or at least almost one of each. That's why I said like do 3 of each so that you can do this, but I am absolutely obsessed with how this looks. So just keep going until this looks like that. I have reached the end of the yarn, and so I'm gonna go ahead and reattach our cake, and I'm gonna attach it by using a method I just recently learned about, and that is called a magic knot. I'm gonna share this with you guys right now. I'm going to show you what I learned. So you tie this, just do a single knot on one end, and then you do the same thing over here. And then you pull it together. I'm gonna take my scissors here, cut it as close to our knot as possible. And supposedly, there you go. No ends to weave in. Isn't that great? Oh my gosh, I am just so distracted. This is so pretty. I used an entire cake of sugar reel cotton. This is what it looks like now. It's all in here with a little bit left over. And so my last round I wanted to make in black, and then yeah, so I have this little bit left over. I have 2 hexagons now, and now I'm going to go ahead and finish off my black yarn. What I did was I did a slip stitch without the color change this time, and then I chained 1 and I cut a short tail so that I can weave it in. So now I'm gonna go ahead, use a crap load of stitch markers, and I am gonna go ahead and try this sucker on. Don't mind the mess in the background. We're gonna fold each panel into an L, and then we're going to use our stitch markers either on this side or on this side, whichever one you want to be the top seam. So in this next part where we're starting to seam the top, I made an oopsie and told you to start seaming in the first possible corner, but this is not going to allow you enough room for your head, for your neck. So instead of having to start from the very corner, skip 3 double crochet clusters, start in the single crochet, and then this is where you will start. And then this kind of will give you enough room for your head to fit when wearing your cardigan. Make sure that each little double crochet cluster matches up on each side. I'm going to put the stitch marker in the single crochet of each side. Keep going all the way across until you reach the last 3 single crochet cluster, and then do this for the other panel as well. I know I have an Angry Birds t-shirt, but just focus on this. I really love the fact that I color controlled, because now the way that the colors are coming together is so satisfying. If you feel like you want to add more rows so that your sleeves are a little longer, when we're doing our seaming here, just add rows to the sleeves instead, and you don't have to make it any longer here. But I think we're going to go ahead and start seaming the back and the sides together. I'm going to start seaming our top seam together. I'm going to take out our first stitch marker. And I know this is with black yarn, so this will be fun. We're going to work in the back loops of our front part, and then we're going to work in the front loops of the back part. I'm going to put a hook in the back loop of the first stitch, pull my slip knot through, chain 1, put my hook in the front loop of the back panel, put it back in the back loop of our first stitch, and pull through. And we're going to do front loop of the back piece, back loop of the front piece, and pull through. And we're going to continue doing that all the way down. Every time you remove a stitch marker, make sure that your stitches are lining up. Keep your tension nice and loose. So once you've finished all the way across and have done your last stitch where your stitch marker previously was, we're going to turn our work to the side to work on our sleeve. How exciting. We're obviously not going to be seaming both sides together, so we're going to work through both loops from now on. For our sleeves, we're going to do chain 1. In this first single crochet here, I'm going to do an increasing single crochet. I'm going to skip the chain 3, go into the next single crochet, and do an increasing single crochet. Again, skip the chain 3 here and do an increasing single crochet into this single crochet. You're going to do that all the way around until you get to this last stitch here, where you will do an increasing single crochet and then do a slip stitch into the first stitch here. Chain 3 and do a double crochet in the first stitch. We're going to do that all the way around, and then make sure to do a slip stitch into the first double crochet here. Remember, this chain 3 is not going to count as your first stitch. Chain 3, instead of double crocheting into the same stitch here, we're going to do a front post double crochet. So that means we're going to take our hook, go underneath our stitch, And then here it is in the back of our work, going around our double crochet below. We're going to yarn over and pull through. And then we're doing a double crochet. Now the next stitch is going to be a back post double crochet. So instead of going down below and going from front to back, we're going to go from back to front, wrap around our double crochet, yarn over, and pull through. Make sure you have the 3 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and do a double crochet. So we're going to do alternating front post double crochet and then back post double crochet. Continue to do that all the way around, and then do a slip stitch into this first double crochet here, as this first chain 3 does not count as your first stitch. Now if you want to make this part of your sleeve a little bit longer, then you can certainly repeat the chain 3 and doing a front post double crochet followed by a back post double crochet. I think I'm going to end it here because I just tried on my sleeve and I really loved the look of it. So I'm going to go ahead. I did my slip stitch already. I'm going to do my chain 1. And then I'm going to cut about 8 to 12 inches so I can weave in my end. And I will do that later. We've done our sleeves. I love the effect that we have done. I love the way that they look and fit. So now that the sleeves are done, I am going to seam up our back panels together. Gosh, isn't this just so pretty? So just like before, we're gonna grab a lot of handy dandy stitch markers and make sure that everything is completely even. Starting with the second single crochet of each side. And just keep going all the way up. So just like we did with the sleeves, I'm gonna remove our stitch markers nice and slowly. We're gonna work in the back loops of the front panel and the front loops of the back panel. And we're gonna continue on each stitch. Front panel, back loop, back panel, front loop. Make sure to have nice and loose tension all the way down the back. And remember that each stitch is matching up on each side.
Yeah, this fits so much nicer now that we started after the first 3 double crochet clusters. Yeah, and it kind of makes a really cool little collar here. And then now we're gonna do the bottom. We're gonna do a little bit, like just a couple rows of single crochets, or we might even do the same effect that we did on the sleeves here. Let's find out together.
Now we're going to use the black yarn some more. Take our slip knot and put it through the second crochet of this corner here. Chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch. And we're just going to do 3 single crochets in the chain space. Keep doing this all the way around until you reach the other side of the bottom of your work. At the end of the row, you're going to do chain 3 and then turn your work. And then we're going to do a double crochet in the first stitch and then double crochets all the way across. At the end of your row, chain 3 and turn your work. And now we're going to do front post double crochet followed by a back post double crochet. And we're going to keep going, front post double crochet and then a back post double crochet. continue this all the way across till you get to the end of your row. Right now we're down to the final stitch of our row. Do a back post double crochet around the chain 3 and our last double crochet. Chain 1 and turn it to the side. And then we're going to do single crochets. When you get past the bottom portion, we're going to do just like we did before, where we're going to do a single crochet in the previous row, single crochet, and then in this chain space we're going to do 3 single crochets. A single crochet into the single crochet. I think this is all that I'm going to do for this cardigan so far, so let's go ahead and try it on. All right, so let's see. I really love the way that it's turned out. You'll have to let me know what you guys think in the comments. We're gonna take the time to just weave in our ends, and then you should be done. I am so happy with the result. This is exactly how I envisioned the alternating colors with the black yarn, and how the colors would be more prominent than the black, but it also is, it's a very cool effect. I am so happy with the way that this turned out. Thank you so much for joining me while making your very own short sleeve hexi cardigan. You'll have to post some pictures on how you made yours, whether you made it rainbow style for Pride Month, or if you went with a different colorway like I did here with a Neptune Haze, which is also another sugar wheel cotton yarn. Now, if you really liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you loved all my yarny shenanigans when using the sugar wheel cotton, go ahead and click subscribe, and also click on the bell for notifications. And until next time, stay safe, happy, and healthy, and have a wonderful day. Bye!